Hey there, this is Jexy with the Systems Alliance, and in this video, I want to go over Bioware's new game, Anthem, and what we saw at E3. So as many of you know, Anthem is Bioware's next new big game. They're still working on the next Dragon Age game, but after Mass Effect Andromeda happened, a lot of stuff fell apart. EA started moving people around, shifting stuff, closing studios. Mass Effect got put on hold, though now that Casey Hudson's back, he did say, hey, we're not done yet, but it still looks like BioWare is still in a little bit of trouble and EA is still reeling from all of the issues that they've had with the microtransactions, the loot boxes, the gambling mechanisms, and everything like that has them on the hot seat, not just of gamers and consumers, but of regulators around the world and governments who want to have that stuff banned and who are already banning those types of practices. So Anthem had a lot riding on it, not just because of that, not just because some people have said it's going to be the game that makes or breaks BioWare as far as how EA might shut them down like they've done so many other studios, but even EA's press conference at E3 was terrible. So really this was the one saving grace. And as they would go through, they said, yep, we're basically keeping loot boxes in FIFA and games like that. But on some games, like a Battlefield, they would say, yep, and no more loot boxes. And they would have to say that in order to get a cheer from the crowd, because otherwise the crowd was utterly disappointed with everything that EA was saying, mostly because it was just like an investor call as opposed to a showcase on games. Anthem, though, that was kind of the highlight or the only light of EA's show. And EA has been learning their lesson on loot boxes, it seems a little bit. They overhauled the Star Wars Battlefront 2 stuff. They announced that there's not going to be any loot boxes or premium pass with Battlefield 5. And so obviously the number one thing on many gamers' minds going into this was, what is Anthem going to do as far as their monetization practices? We know it's a live service driven game, just like Destiny and games like that, but the problem is those haven't gone too well. I mean, Destiny 2 absolutely disappointed pretty much everyone who played it, and its entire player base is pretty much dead at this point. So they're really struggling to try and right the ship over there, and BioWare, EA, they did kind of take a little shot at Destiny during the press conference when they said, we're actually going to ship a completed game, which I was so happy to hear. Yes, please ship a completed game. Destiny 2 is only just catching up to where Destiny 1 started, so it's pretty pathetic, and Anthem does not want to run into that problem. And I don't think at this point it can afford to run into that problem. So Casey Hudson had sent out a tweet, and he basically was asking for fans' questions, like, what do you most want to know about Anthem at the E3 press conference? And I know I tweeted him and said, I want to know about loot boxes. I want to make sure that this is not something that's going to be in the game because it will kill it. Tell me how you plan on addressing this. And it was one of my most liked tweets ever, mostly from people who I have no idea, but it's just what people want. This is what they want to know. They want to make sure that BioWare isn't going to get swallowed up by EA because they're forcing them into microtransactions. And a similar tweet was also asked of Casey Hudson, and it's the one that they happened to feature in the EA press conference. What they basically said was there are going to be no loot boxes. There's going to be no gambling mechanics or mechanisms at all, which great. And as far as cosmetics go, you will know exactly what you're getting, and there will be a price right there. The only thing they did not address, though, was, are the cosmetics going to be available to be earned through in-game currency that you earn just through playing the game? And that way you won't have to spend actual real money to get the items, but you can just grind or, just get lucky finding stuff as you play through the game. Hopefully that's the case. If not, it's a slippery slope. What if you have a skin that makes you more stealth and unable to see, whatever it is? And with these games, a lot of the thing is how cool you look to the other gamers that you're going to interact with. So to me, that is still kind of a big deal because it could go wrong. But it sounds like they're trying to do the right thing at least, while still having a live service type game, which they plan on supporting for years or a decade plus whatever it is to come, to still have ways of earning money outside the regular purchase. What we also didn't learn was, is it going to be like a Destiny where you buy these season passes and it allows you to level up to the next thing and the next thing, but in doing so leaves a good chunk of players behind every time you move on to the next one. World of Warcraft was able to get around that. They allowed you to not have to buy the previous DLC in order to get up to certain areas, whereas in Destiny you do, and it's killed their player base. So hopefully they'll go the route of Battlefield 5, which says they're not doing any of that, which will allow every time you get into the game, everyone's on the same level. So everyone gets the upgrades and DLC free and everything like that, but because of it, you're able to not have a crazy advantage over another player, or you're just able to play with all of your friends who may not have the same maps and everything that you do, because you'll all have the same maps. So we'll have to see how that goes. As far as the gameplay footage goes, it really wasn't anything that we hadn't seen before. They showed a boss fight and a little bit of dialogue, but we have no clue what's going on or anything like that. And I was just a little disappointed as far as that particular video of gameplay that they showed, because I didn't learn anything new. The game looks incredible. This is a Bioware game. They tend to look amazing graphically. The people are not having the same issues that they did in Andromeda in terms of how they talked and their dead eyes and everything like that. So that's obviously a good sign. And they are still using the Frostbite engine. And it seems like with their A-team working on it, they're able to do something. They've pulled a lot of people off of Dragon Age, which in Inquisition, they were able to pull off the facial animations perfectly. So obviously they have some of those people there, and things are going pretty well now that they have their A-team working on Anthem. But the big news is the gameplay that they allowed people to see, and other footage they allowed people to see outside of the actual press conference. From what I'm hearing about that, it was much more Bioware-like. So Bioware released a statement saying there's going to be no romance options at all in Anthem, which I'm okay with, but at the same time, that's something Bioware does really well. And all you have to do is take a look at fans of Bioware, fans of Mass Effect, fans of Dragon Age, fans of all these games, and look at what the internet has to offer as far as people looking into that. The romance themes are very strong. It's the thing that people have really connected with. It's the thing that makes the game stay alive, even if it's been out for years and years and years. It's things that people cosplay as. It's things that people get really into. So it worries me a bit that they're cutting that. However, they did say they're going to keep things as far as friendships very strong. Hopefully the friendships will make up for that, and you'll have maybe like a Shepard and a Garrus type friendship that can be really strong incorporated in the game. But from everything behind the scenes that people were saying, there's a lot more Bioware in that. There's a lot more of that good dialogue and the good story, the good narrative that you expect from a Bioware game that we didn't really see during EA's press conference. So I definitely still have hope going forward for Anthem. It's definitely a game that, without the loot boxes, I am looking forward to playing. And let me know what you think. With the new news of no gambling mechanisms and cosmetic only for purchase upgrades, maybe we can get them by grinding too, who knows? What do you think about that? Will you be purchasing Anthem? Will you wait to see a little more narrative and story to see if it's worth playing because you don't want to run into another Destiny situation? Let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see you later.